Hi, this is Angela Lovelace. Welcome to my presentation on applying the theory, teaching Bruner style. This is the high school where I work, and the group of students I was teaching all have type 1 diabetes. We got 6 students to attend. I had invited 7, so it was a pretty good turnout. And our topic was tips for improving blood glucose control. We started off with a balloon game. I had balloons that had things written on them like blood sugars, carb count, homework, extracurricular activities, and we put one student in the center and kept adding one balloon first. She just had the blood sugar one and was able to keep it in the air easily. Then we added, homework and extracurricular activities, and pretty soon she was struggling to keep all the balloons from touching the ground. So then we sent another student in to help her keep the balloons in the air, and yet another. So everyone was in there keeping the balloons in the air, and it was pretty easy to have that many people in there and keeping the balloons all in the air. Basically, I was just trying to demonstrate how much easier it is to manage your diabetes when you do ask for help. Allow your parents and friends to be part of the team. Communicate well with your diabetic team, your school nurse. We started the group discussion. First of all, we were in a small room. We were eating lunch because we met during lunch, so we all had our lunch with us. We're sitting in kind of a square, so we were facing each other. And first the students shared their age at diagnosis and how they managed. One student has an insulin pump, and the others were all using insulin pens. The oldest student is a senior, and she showed us her continuous glucose monitor and shared how it works. She can actually wear the transducer while she's playing volleyball, and the actual monitor is, 30 feet away on the sidelines, and they can keep an eye on her blood sugars to make sure she's not dropping too much with all that activity. Next, we moved into ketone testing for high blood sugars. I was a little surprised at some of those students' lack of knowledge about that. And then the students kind of just took the direction to talk about how burned out they were. They're tired of thinking about diabetes and having to deal with it all the time. And that wasn't on the agenda, but I thought it was a valuable topic, so I let the direction of conversation finish out with that topic. Readiness, according to Bruner, they all need to have some experiences and contexts that'll make them willing and able to learn. And of course, this group right away has similar experiences because they're all diagnosed with the same chronic illness. The group dynamic would have been much different if we had included students that are not knowledgeable about this disease. Bruner says instruction must be structured so it's easily grasped, the spiral organization. Well, we did build on previous concepts. All of these students have a basic understanding of the concept of diabetes, and now we're just getting in on a deeper level. What exactly causes ketones and why is it a bad thing? They all knew it was important to test ketones with the blood sugars high and that you don't want to see them, but they really couldn't tell you why and what the physiology was behind it. Sequencing is also important, and I think that the instruction we did this day was really just filling in gaps. They already had that knowledge, but we kind of went beyond the information they already had, and we're filling in some of the gaps in their knowledge. And talk about reinforcement, Bruner feels like external rewards are artificial and short-term gain at best. Once the teacher's not there giving those rewards, will the students still want to learn? And these students really, it was easy to appeal to their intrinsic motivation. This is an illness that's going to affect them for the rest of their lives, and they really could relate to each other. So, motivation and reinforcement in this instance was absolutely not difficult at all. So what went well for me? Well, the balloon game was really good. I think it put everyone at ease and made them relax a little bit before we sat down to talk. The ketone testing was a really good topic to touch on. I was surprised at some of the misconceptions that students already had, and those needed to be corrected. The students found the discussion to be helpful. One of the students said that it was the first time she has ever not been the only diabetic in her school, and so she really liked that. And the students have requested to do this once a month, so they must have really found some value in the support that they got from the other students. What didn't go so well was we ran out of time before we covered all of the planned topics, so I think I planned too much considering that we only had 35 minutes. I did have a problem with one student dominating the conversation while another student spoke very little during the group. So next time I do think rather than just have the list of topic items that we want to cover, we'll also do a little bit of ground rules, like don't interrupt, try to keep your comments reasonably short and to the point so others have a chance to respond. I'll need to think some more on those, but we definitely need some ground rules. And I possibly will do a bit more formal format where I will go around the circle and encourage each person to share, rather than just that random talking and interjecting comments, just so that maybe the person who didn't get a chance to talk a whole lot will have a little more say. So, give me some feedback, classmates. Was this lesson true to Jerome Bruner's vision of education? And I'd also would like to get some tips. How could I better lead group discussions? How can I engage that quiet student and politely minimize the conversation hog? And these are the references I use to get my lesson plan ready, and then, of course, to study about Jerome Bruner's learning theory. Thank you for listening.